Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'm going to be talking to you about our education system, which I know sounds really exciting, but we're going to make it through together, okay? And to do that, I'm going to share with you a brief narrative really fast about a kid I know and some of his teachers. This is Giovanni. He is a third grader here in Jeffco. He is smart. He's funny. He's sweet. He is sociable. Maybe I can. There we go. He has a lot of friends. He is also deaf and autistic. And up until about 2 years ago, Giovanni was considered ineducable, meaning he couldn't learn anything, which, if you're anyone who's anyone, is absolutely ridiculous. Enter these two teachers extraordinaire. On your left, Nikki Kennedy, and on your right, Dana Omi. These two people are the people that I aspire to be one day. They teach in a special ed classroom right now, and they are incredible at what they do. They took a kid like Giovanni, who was considered ineducable, and turned him into one of the funniest, smartest, awesomest kids that I know. Those are the people that make me want to be a good educator. And I do. I want to be a special ed teacher in elementary school. And people like to ask me why, because the truth is, SPED teachers don't really make a lot of money. Their job's pretty stressful. They have to do a lot of paperwork. So when people ask me why, I give them a pretty simple answer. I get summers off. That's it. Just kidding. The reason is kids like Giovanni, because when I work with a kid like that, I just feel inspired. I feel like I'm actually making a difference, and I want to do that forever. And I have a lot of fears going into teaching, obviously. I won't make a lot of money. It's going to be stressful. I'll have to do paperwork. But a lot of those, I'm not really that worried about. What I'm really worried about right now is my ability to teach. And one of my greatest fear would be that I find a kid like Giovanni, considered ineducable, and for whatever reason, I can't make him so. I can't turn him into the smart, funny, sociable kid that he is today like these two did. Which inspired my research into what our education system really needs. And what I found was our teachers need support. They need to be led, and they need to learn to teach. Our teachers need to learn to teach, which sounds like a lot of learning and teaching, but it is. And I identified a few problems that I found in our teachers nowadays. The good ones, the ones that should be teaching, the Dana Omis and Nikki Kennedys of our schools, a lot of them leave teaching within the first 5 years. 40% of our teachers leave teaching. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you can go and be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer and make a whole lot of money. You can also, I also found that a lot of teachers come into their field with expectations that aren't quite realistic. They think that their careers are going to be inspiring, rewarding. Every day something is going to be amazing for them. Which, if you've been in a classroom for more than a week, you realize that that's just not true. Because again, the job is stressful, you don't make a lot of money, and sometimes kids like Giovanni, I worked with him today, he bit me, and he threw my keys in this bowl of milk. So that was fun. But yeah, those are the things you realize. Kids aren't always what you think that they're going to be. And some teachers know that. The Nikki Kennedys and the Dana Omis know that. And they continue in their career field, and that's amazing. And they make a true difference. But 40% of our teachers leave the profession in the first 5 years, which means that the people that could be great aren't, because they stop, which is ridiculous. So again, teachers need support. They need to know that every day they are making a difference. And even though they don't make a lot of money, that's okay. I also found that the goals in our education system today are a little bit misguided. They tend to focus on test scores and the quantitative results that you can achieve. And they rarely focus on the things that really matter. The things like taking Giovanni and making him into the smart, sociable, funny kid that he is. I also found that teachers aren't getting enough feedback for what they do. They're observed, they teach classes, administration comes in, and then they check off a few boxes, mainly marked satisfactory or acceptable, but they never really get the feedback that they need that tells them what they need to change, what they need to improve on, how their classrooms need to adapt, which is also something that needs to change. And there are education programs out there right now that are turning out teachers that are fantastic at what they do, and the reason for that is they are constantly evaluating and changing how their teachers go about teaching. They say, all right, I liked this, I like that, but this needs to change. And then those things change. And the teachers begin to identify by themselves what needs to change in their classroom, what works and what doesn't. Bottom line, our teachers are the bedrock of our education system. So as opposed to being focused on test scores, our budget, our administration, our educators are what really matter. Because without them doing a quality job, none of that matters. None of it can succeed unless our teachers are the ones making a true difference. We need to start turning out more Dana Omis and Nikki Kennedys. More thing ones and things twos. Because they're what makes a true difference. They're what make people like me want to be a good teacher. And I will be, hopefully, one day. And that's because I want to be a good teacher. I strive for it. Every day I go out and I try my best to work with kids like Giovanni. Because to me, our educators are the most important thing to us. Thank you.